Man. Okay, so welcome to the 8-week minimalist athlete habit stack. So first things first, we're just going to get into like a little bit of housekeeping items with like how the 8-week habit stack will work, and also just talk like very briefly about like the goal of the community, the goal of the challenge, and like what the course will actually be designed to help people out with. So first thing is like the reason why I created this community is partially for my own accountability, just to maximize my own health, my own, um, you know, my goal has always been to like extend my athletic peak as long as I can. So I wanted to create a community of like-minded individuals to support me being accountable doing that, but then also share all of my beliefs, all my knowledge and resources that I have to help other people doing the same, and then just provide accountability to each other, right? Like in an environment like this where we're able to share each other's wins, ask each other questions, share resources, share tips and inspiration, like that's obviously super valuable. And then support for each other. Those are like the main sort of outcomes of the community. And so school is a great platform for that because we're able to sort of share all those things, but then also I can provide those resources to you guys too. So the main thing I want to kind of get away from just like this little prep lesson here before we get into the actual first lesson is the mindset. So the the mindset of like being a minimalist athlete is essentially minimum inputs with maximum output. And nowadays in like the health and fitness world, there's so many like protocols, people are doing peptides, people are doing all these like advanced workout routines, and I've been in that game as well for some time. But what I've noticed is that the best results actually come from eliminating all the fluff, simplifying your routine. um, there's so much information nowadays that people have kind of information overload, and a lot of people suffer from paralysis by analysis, like not doing anything or constantly jumping from thing to thing because there's just so much overstimulation in the health and fitness space. So the goal is to pull the biggest levers first with your health and fitness. So the lessons are structured in a way that we focus on the things that have the biggest impact with the least amount of effort on our part first, and then we go on from there. And the idea is that you don't really deserve or need the advanced protocols or the super advanced workout routines if you haven't mastered the basics, right? So that's sort of the mindset you want to take into the lessons and the course and the community as a whole. And so yeah, the focus is just on getting back to basics. Living the way that we used to hundreds of years ago, where we were all much healthier. With nowadays we have all these different inputs that we're doing, but we're still as unhealthy as we've ever been. So something needs to change. Um, the key sort of tips that I want you guys to focus on is just stripping away. The first thing is stripping away all the preconceived ideas of what you think is working best for you or what you think is most important. The idea is you want to strip all that stuff away and then focus on the most, like the biggest levers to pull first, and then putting all your effort into being accountable to those basic practices before you move on to anything else. It's similar to just like, you don't want to practice running before you can walk, sort of deal. So strip away all those preconceived ideas, any programs that you're doing, any diet protocols, any of that stuff, just strip all of it away. Just start from the basics, master the basics, and work your way up, and just stack those habits week after week. Second thing I want to talk about is just tracking data. So you're not actually really able to make sustainable changes without tracking some sort of metric or data. And the app I created, the Minimalist Athlete app, is a great tool for that. You can track your sleep, you can track your diet, nutrition, you can create habit routines and then hold yourself accountable to those. And it gives you a bunch of readouts and easily shareable graphics that you can share into the community. So that's super valuable. And the idea is it gives you a baseline to then measure your progress from. So it's super important. There's also an intake form and a goals sheet, which will be shared in the lesson notes. So you'll be able to go in there, share sort of what your goals are with the community, what things you want to work on, why you're here, those types of things. And then the basic lesson format. So each week is there's gonna be a lesson like we're doing today. Then there's going to be resources and sources attached to the lesson notes. And then after the lesson, you'll be given a challenge to remain accountable to throughout the week. And then you want to share your feedback and your results into the community. And that'll allow other people to weigh in, you to get support, you to have the accountability of actually sharing those results. And then we can, on the next week's call, we'll review those things before we get into the actual lesson. And then the last tip is just like accountability. So again, similar to like with stripping away all the preconceived ideas of health and fitness and maybe the things that you're doing right now, is you want to focus on building momentum and sort of focusing on the simple basic habits first before you move on to anything else. So you don't want to get lost in like trying to learn all the different things later on in the lessons when you've forgotten to do the basics from week one. So the idea is we learn in week one, you implement the habits from week one, and then you maintain those throughout each week, throughout the 8 weeks. So hopefully that makes sense. Next up will just be lesson 1. This is just sort of the prep intro lesson to give you the basics and housekeeping items to get the most out of the course. And I'll see you guys in week 1.